Hello there, fellow programmers. In today's intermediate Python tutorial, we will be talking about the Walrus operator in Python, a useful little trick that you can use in your Python programs. This Python operator supposedly looks like a walrus, which is why it is called the Walrus operator. Also known as the assignment expression, this is a new feature introduced to the Python language in version 3.8. This operator allows us to assign expressions to variables on the fly. In other words, it lets us store and use expressions simultaneously. Let's take a look at some examples where the walrus operator can come in handy. Here we have a list of people. If we would like to check whether there are more than 3 people in this list and print out a message if that is the case, we can use this if statement. If the length of people is greater than 3, we will print out however many people in that list. People found, only 3 is allowed. If I run this code, we can see that 4, which is the number of people in this people list, people found, only 3 is allowed. Now in this program, the length people expression appeared twice. If you would like to get rid of that repetition, the walrus operator can help. So here we have the same list of people, and our if statement is a little bit different. Notice here we're using the walrus operator, colon equals. What we're doing here is actually multiple things. The first thing that we're doing is evaluating this expression, length of people. And then we're assigning this expression's value to the new variable L. Lastly, we're comparing this expression with 3, and if it is greater than 3, we will continue on to this code. Now keep in mind that we already have a variable storing this expression, so here we no longer have to use length people. We can just use the variable that we defined up here, the variable L. We can print out L people found, only 3 is allowed. And we can see the same result as before printed out. The walrus operator can also be used in places like loops. So here we have a people list which is currently empty, while true will continue to populate the people list using user inputs. So we'll gather a user input, storing that in a variable p. Now if p is equal to q, we will exit the loop. That's kind of like a code that we can use to exit the loop. Otherwise, we will append the input to the list people. Lastly, after the loop, we'll print out people. So if I enter, let's just enter 1, 2, 3, and enter q, we can see the loop will exit, and we will see a list containing 1, 2, and 3 printed out. We can shorten this code using the walrus operator. We have the same empty list of people here, and our while loop is only 2 lines, although the while condition is quite a bit longer. Let's break it down one by one. What's happening here is, firstly, we're asking for a user input. So input new person. The user is going to enter something in response to that, and that is going to be assigned to the value or the variable p using the walrus operator. And then we'll compare this input with the value of q. And if this input is not equal to q, we'll continue on into the loop and append p to the people list. If not, we will just exit the loop because this will be false. So running this loop, we'll see if I enter 1, 2, 3, q, we will see the same result as before in the output. Now, do keep in mind that you will have to have these 2 parentheses right here, because if you get rid of them, you'll see if I enter 1, 2, 3, q, we can see the values of true, true, true printed out, because in fact, what is assigned to the variable p here is actually this whole thing instead of this expression right here. So you have to have the parentheses around in order to accomplish what you would like to achieve. Cube, and we can see have the list printed out. And this also applies to our if right here. If you get rid of these 2 parentheses, we can see true people found. That's not what we want, so we have to have the parentheses in order to assign this and not this to the variable L. So 4 people found, only 3 is allowed. The walrus operator can even be used in something as simple as a print statement. Here we have a variable x, which we assign the value of 1 and print out that variable. What if you want to do these two things in one expression? Well, you can use the walrus operator. So print out x walrus 1. And in this case, you'll see 1 printed out. In this case, we're assigning the value 1 to the variable x and printing out the value of 1. So essentially, this is going to evaluate to the value right here, but at the same time, it's going to assign this value to the variable x, which is why we can use this variable x later on in our program to print out the value of 1. In certain situations, the walrus operator can save us some repetition and help us avoid potential mistakes. And that's it for this video on the walrus operator in Python. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing down below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in more tutorials.